welcome to episode 413 of In Touch with iOS, the podcast that keeps you connected to the ever-changing Apple ecosystem. I am your host, Dave Ginsburg. Each week, we break down the latest news, updates, tips, and hidden features across iPhone, iPad, Apple Watch, Mac, Vision Pro, and Apple TV, all with insights from friends, experts, and the Apple community. Because here, we read the release notes so you don't have to. So, we got a full panel this week. I love it. Thanks for everybody for being here. Let's start out with, as always, in the number one slot, Jill McKinley. How you doing, Jill?
Well, I'm doing fine, but we don't have enough quite yet for Hollywood Squares. But
no, we don't. We need to...
Oh, well, let me tell you right now.
Yeah. Oh, gosh.
Nice.
Glad you're here. And Jeff Gamet in the number two position. He's here tonight. How you doing, Jeff?
I'm doing great. And, if I have to be number two to anyone, it ought to be Jill. So I'm right where I should be.
Yes, you are. Thanks for being here. Also, great to be here is Chuck Joyner. How you doing, Chuck?
I'm good, David. It's good to see you Thursday night.
Yes.
This is the place to be.
It is. We have a lot to talk about. Marty Jencius, seems like I've been with you like pretty much all week with all the Apple user groups. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm really glad it's Thursday night because that's kind of the official start of my weekend. My son's fiance's wedding shower is this weekend. So we have relatives in and I'm doing a bunch of cooking. So all of that makes me joyful.
Good. Also here, Guy Serle. How you doing, Guy?
Hi, people have thought of me as number two for a long time.
Oh, man. I set it up and you knocked it out of the park.
He did. Moving on. Thanks for being here, Guy.
Thank you.
And last but certainly not least, Eric Bolden. Thanks for being here. How you doing?
Oh, good. Wonderful night.
What is the bird behind you this week?
Tonight I have a pileated woodpecker.
And boy, he pileated there.
Yep.
A big hole.
He was diligently building out a whole potential home, and the female woodpecker came by, took one look, and said, "You built this in the middle of the city," and left.
Oh.
And now he's crying.
Yeah.
He's
How
going,
did you get all this information, Eric? It's impressive.
Yeah, he's the bird master.
There were tears coming down.
He's an
It might have been rain and snow and sleet, but they were both there. There was a quick peek in, a look around, and then a look down. And the look down was a look down on two giant dogs that were staring up, and that was enough. She said no.
Well, all right. Well,
real estate is really complicated.
Well, you don't have to tell me that, but that's a whole nother story. But let's go ahead and move on to the show. We have breaking news. This literally came off the press here a few hours ago, and ITC judge rules that Apple Watch blood oxygen workaround does not infringe on Masimo patents. Apple blood oxygen sensing implementation in the U.S. does not infringe on the patents owned by Masimo, and Apple will not face a revived import ban. A U.S. International Trade Commission judge said this week, after it was found that they violated Masimo's patents. Of course, as we know, the blood oxygen sensing, the Apple Watch faced a U.S. import ban. If you remember that, back in 2023, which still is in place to today, but they began reselling it not shortly after the next month in January 2024, and they didn't do the functionality. But then Apple in August of 2025 did find that workaround where it was able to bring the blood oxygen sensor back to the U.S. Apple Watch owners. Data collected by the blood oxygen sensor on the Apple Watch, but it's processed by pairing an iPhone rather than the watch itself, resulting in information that can be only viewed on the iPhone. And it didn't violate anything. And what do you know? A judge agreed with that. So this is good news, I think, because I have this. I think a few of us have this Series 11, and I'm happy to see that that's not going to have. Start with Jeff. What do you think on this?
I think this is actually great. Okay, whether or not Apple infringed on Masimo patents at this point seems almost secondary to what's going on. because it was very clear Massimo had no intent of cooperating with Apple to resolve the issue. So getting to a point where a judge is like, okay, you got your thing, Apple changed what they're doing, and then you turn around and say, oh, no, they're still violating our patents. Okay, the judge was like, no, we're done here. And I think that's fine.
Yeah, I agree with that. Marty, how about you? What do you think? You're muted. You're muted.
I think it's great. I use the blood oxygen sensor, having a history with AFib and other sorts of heart issues. It's that's one of the things that I need to monitor. And I hope this is rectified with all of the watches that were shut down. Is that part of the deal?
Oh yeah, well, no, the ones with their older watches, because I had the Series 9 and it got grandfathered in because I had already purchased it prior to them stopping it from working. So if I still have had that, actually, my wife has my Series 9. I think about it, so she's able to use it the way it used to work because they couldn't pull it up. It only happened when they during the Series 9 model year. That they pulled it on any future sales. But yeah, beyond that, any other model since has not been able to do it the old way. But now
will it be able to go back to the direct on watch response?
Well,
no.
According to the article, it just says that they just ruled that allowing that they're saying that Apple is not infringing on just what they're doing using the iPhone. So
I think that is how they're not, is by not doing live.
Yeah.
This was a this is a good comment from Witherbuck. And if anybody's not here, we'd love to have you in the chat here at youtube.com/intouch with iOS. He says, I haven't been sure that the oxygen in my blood has got this watch in over a year. So yeah, it's that's probably the thing. A lot of people probably just forgot about it, I would think. Chuck, what do you think of this?
I don't want to rain on anybody's parade, but if you go down a little bit farther, it says that since today's decision is preliminary, the full commission will need to affirm the ruling. So I'm holding my breath. Obviously, I think this is great news. I think that this might mean that it can get turned on now on all the Apple Watches that it's been turned off on, because I don't think there was ever a hardware difference between the U.S. and the U.K. or any of the others. So, let's just all not cheer too loudly just yet, but it certainly feels like that this is a big win. And the again, farther down the article, it says that Apple is appealing the ruling that went against it for $634 million. So that's still out there, but it would be nice to see this get fixed.
Yeah, let's not confuse it. This is the version that they came out later, allowing them to be able to use the iPhone as the device to show the blood oxygen as opposed to showing it directly on the watch, on the Apple Watch. So yeah, the original way it was done is not. They can't do that until that gets overturned. But that doesn't seem as possible. Did you ever want to add one more comment, Jeff?
Nope. You hit everything that I was going to mention.
Okay, great. Jill, you tell us what you got.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's great because I found a way around it, but I also will tell you that I haven't looked at it now since it got buried a little bit. So
that's the thing.
Yeah. So it's good and bad. I'm glad they get to keep it, but at some point, this company just has to give up Toto, and be done.
Well, wishful thinking.
Yeah.
And then wrap this up, Guy. You have thoughts on this?
Yeah. Didn't this go back to the Series 7 watch? Wasn't it the first one that had the blood oxygen monitoring?
I think it was the 7. It was the 7, and then the 9 was the one where it got cut off when you bought it later.
Okay. And I'm obviously not a expert on patent law, but isn't there like a fair use kind of provision in patents that, if somebody requests to license it, and you have exclusive technology, that they need to come to some kind of accommodation to allow it to be licensed?
I can answer that.
Oh, good.
Okay.
So First, Guy, I'm not an attorney, but I have played one on stage.
Did you stay at a Holiday Inn last night?
Not last night.
Okay.
Last July.
Last July.
Okay, so what you're saying, Guy, is accurate if there's no other implementation possible for whatever it is. So, like for technologies, like there's been a thing with some of the wireless communication technologies where that's the only thing, and so then in a situation like that, that technology or that patent has to be licensed to other people. But if there's another way to make something happen, then no, they don't have to. So for a blood ox sensor, there are multiple ways to do that. Masimo doesn't have to license their patent technology to other people, although it makes sense to do so unless your intent is to just milk as much money out of a company simply because you think you can.
All right. So what if this passes, what they'll be allowed to do is not live censoring, but to allow you to go in and
to your iPhone.
Okay, into the so you can't look at it directly on the watch, but you can look at it on your iPhone live.
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, that's when it comes to the health stuff, for the most part, that's what people are doing anyway. So
Sure.
It's like, Massimo, go jump off a flying lake or something. Nobody wants to hear their crap.
Yeah. So, all right, let's go ahead and move on. We could probably talk a lot longer on this, but I want to go into In Touch with Vision Pro this week. There was a release candidate of Vision OS 226.4. It's available for the Vision Pro. I did not install it just yet, but don't think there's much else changed from the other betas. Marty or Eric, did you install this? I can't see anything else. I mean, it's the same thing.
I haven't installed it yet.
Yeah.
I have 6 minutes left.
I knew you were doing it. So I don't think there's much else to talk about it. Once it comes out, we'll see. Because you expect the release candidate was released this week. I would anticipate it'll be out probably next week, Monday or Tuesday, usually Tuesday. With that, so I got a link in the show notes if you want to see more info on that. But I also found this interesting article here. This was just released today, and Apple's Vision Pro gains smoother gameplay with NVIDIA's top GeForce Now streaming plan. NVIDIA's been NVIDIA's most expensive games streaming plan now supports 90 frames a second gameplay on the Apple Vision Pro. The GeForce Now also streams at a higher resolution for Vision Pros compared to other headsets. It will now support. It will support up to 120 hertz refresh rates, which is the M5 Vision Pro. The original M2, which Eric and I still have, is at the 100 hertz refresh rates. So looks like we're going to get some new technology here with NVIDIA being able to do some more streaming in here, and this is kind of cool. Marty, what do you think?
Well, we've reported on Vision Pro profiles that NVIDIA or Apple's been working on the foveated view, which is going to really help them. And I think it's at the right time for NVIDIA to be, I think it's intentional is what I'm saying, that the kinds of things that they've been doing with processing the optics on this device fits in directly with NVIDIA being able to be active in terms of games.
Eric, anything on this?
Yeah, it also makes it less likely to cause discomfort with motion as you increase the resolution and frame rates. So, especially if you're doing flight simulators or any other game that might have additional motion, you can keep your lunch. So that's very good news.
There you go.
Yep.
So I'm going to see I continue evolving with that, and we'll see where.
Say you want a resolution.
Yeah. Well, and NVIDIA's gaming system is not one of the more popular ones out there. they have great games and they look fantastic because that's their specialty. But really, once you can get Steam games on there, then it'll be amazing because that's where you get most of the people. But it's a good step in the right direction.
Agreed. Okay, let's go ahead and move on. And we're going to go to beta this week. And we've got iOS and iPadOS 26.4. The release candidate is out, and there really isn't much to say other than what we've been talking about here. The fact that it does have a lots of the different things we're going to talk about. I don't think we'd have to spend too much time on it, but when again, like all the other release candidates, we expect they'll be out next week with that. So you have Mac OS. We'll talk about that in a minute here. And a couple things I did find here is the fact that the iOS 26.4 will actually have family sharing for other family members to use their own payment methods. That's new. So what's happening here is there's a long needed billing fix in iOS 26.4. It was always the biggest sticking point for family sharing is the fact that Apple launched it in 2014, and every purchase had to go on that master family person that was leading up the account. So that was kind of a pain to have to charge things. But nowadays, we got multiple families that are not in the household, and why they should be able to charge things on that too. I think that was a good score when coming up with that. Anybody have any comments on that?
I was gonna say my brother will appreciate it. Who at 2:00 in the morning is trying to buy anime. Why won't this buy? Why won't this buy? Jill, wake up!
There you go.
All you have to do, Jill, is just authorize him to do it without having to notify you, and then everything will be okay.
Oh.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, and then this just was going to be coming out on tvOS 26.4. Amazing. We have something to talk about on tvOS. It includes a new Genius Browse section in the Apple TV app, which gives you recommendations for TV shows and movies across multiple suggested categories. The suggestions will be based on content preferences, and the categories are updated regularly. Some examples include upbeat workplace comedies, intense psychological thrillers. History gets hilarious. So that's kind of fun. You can actually look for stuff a little more than what you could do just by looking at what Apple would suggest. So that's kind of fun to see. So surprising, they're adding some stuff in Apple TV. Are they going to ever come out with a new Apple TV? That's a good question too.
Is it necessary?
Sure.
Well, sure.
A new Apple TV? Sure.
Absolutely.
A more powerful processor, more modern processor, that improves gaming, gives you better performance. And if you wanted to have any of Apple's AI automation related features, you need a new processor.
Yeah.
Well, there's some of us who hope it's going to turn into a gaming system.
Yeah.
I have been saying the same thing, and I'm the guy who's not really a gamer, but Apple TV as a pocket-sized gaming console, that would be super cool.
I agree. Then there was a release, as we move out of beta here, there was a release that on Tuesday, they released a background security improvement update for Mac OS Tahoe 26.3.1, iOS 26.3.1, and iPadOS 26.3.1. And it was replacing a rapid security update that used to seed out a few years ago. This first BSI update addresses a WebKit vulnerability that could allow malicious craft web content to bypass same origin policy. And there's the update is across that one. And then, of course, Mac OS Tahoe 26.3.2 BSI update is exclusive to the MacBook Neo, which we'll talk about in a little bit. It was addressed to improve this endpoint validation. So good to see Apple's keeping things secure with these updates, and it was a pretty quick install. I hope everybody got that installed. It's pretty important to get that taken care of.
Yes.
Any comments on that? All right. As well, Apple is urging iPhone users to run outdated software. So this kind of explains why Apple has just been really aggressive in getting new software updates for older devices. This is people who are running iOS 13, iOS 14, to upgrade to iOS 15 to protect themselves from being hacked through malicious web content. It was an actual support document. Apple highlights recent reports about hacking tools that are effective against older versions of iOS. Hackers are using iOS exploit kits known as Corona and Dark Sword, which can take advantage of vulnerabilities on iOS 13 through 17.2.1. So go update it. If you're still running these old devices, it's super important to do that. I know we're not one of those that stick around with old devices, but there's plenty out there who are probably listening and watching this show that probably are. So anybody have any comments about that? All right, let's move on here. So let's go on to In Touch with Mac this week. As I mentioned, Mac OS 26.4 release candidate is now available, and the same old stuff. There really wasn't anything highlighting what we've talked about in the last few weeks of all the other updates. So again, it should be released here in a week to have it updated then. So it's been fun to it's been fun to see here as far as where things are going here. So I want to, maybe I'm going to give kind of an announcement here. We are going to add a new segment this week. It's In Touch with MacBook Neo. I thought it'd be kind of fun to do that since a few of us have the MacBook Neo. Marty, you want to announce what we're going to be doing outside this show?
Well, I need this like I need a hole in the head.
Another podcast from Marty Jencius. Let's
on Chuck's show, there was Brett Kennedy, who I've contacted, and we're seeing if he'll be involved. He shows interest. He kept nagging me about, Marty will do another podcast. It'll be about Neo.
He won.
And I could not get that out of my head. I just could not get that out of my head. And so, I first contacted Dave, and Dave said, that sounds great. I'm in. And Eric, I contacted on the same channel, and he's like, yeah, I think I can do that. So I see it as a limited series because I don't know how long we can talk about the hardware. But we'll see what happens in terms of news and items that come about. And I know Dave's got one tonight already, and Eric's been sending me a bunch of stuff that could be used for the discussion. But it's called the Neo Netbook. And it already, I've put a YouTube channel up, and so you can find it at youtube.com/at the Neo Netbook. I just wanted it to be Neo Netbook, but apparently there was a netbook called Neo that kind of 14 years ago, and they haven't posted since then. Did
it even come out?
I don't know. I have no idea.
I think it was a Microsoft product that was announced that they ultimately never shipped.
Yeah. Well, we are going to do this starting on Sunday night. It's going to be a shorter show than what we typically do with Vision Profiles. And we're just going to keep up with the weekly stuff that's happened. Some of it that we find in Reddit, people attempting to do things, some of our experiences with it as it comes across. More of a conversational, not dropping a lot of links, and easy on the ears, hopefully. So Sunday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is going to be our first episode coming up this March 23rd.
Nice.
And I'm setting that up.
Sure.
I did designs for the pages. And so, again, it's youtube.com/at the Neo Netbook.
He had that all set up within, it had to have been less than half hour.
Well, I was grading at the time. And
grading and setting
it was
up a
like,
podcast.
what do I want to do? Do I want to grade midterms, or do I want to, design stuff? So,
This seems totally reasonable.
Yeah. This explains a lot of my college experience with grades. Okay, I have branding for you, Marty. What about Neapolitan? And then you have all the colors that makes it look like ice cream.
Yeah, and Eric suggested Neophyte, and I said, Eric, that's way too sexual. And he didn't get that joke either.
Oh, let's move on.
All microphones cost me, Marty, was money.
Yeah.
I'm still struggling with netbook. That leaves a questionable taste in the mouth.
No, it's the
Stop
Neo
licking it, Chuck.
notebook. It's the Neo
said
notebook, not
You
netbook.
said
So it's like
okay.
a notebook that we're doing about the Neo.
I withdraw the comment. Then that's much
but you made a
better.
mistake, and you did say netbook.
Yeah, it's like really?
I probably
Netbook?
said netbook. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good. All right.
Stand by the Neapolitan ice cream because that's the colors of the Neos.
Neapolitan ice cream is yellow?
Yeah, there's lemon, right? Strawberry, and then a blueberry, right? Aren't those the three colors?
Yeah, it's only yellow in Alaska, Chuck.
Guy.
Moving on now. Craig said in the chat here, timely, especially for the new product. Thanks, Craig. I think we're going to have some fun with that. So
maybe I'm wrong.
So
maybe that's chocolate.
I think you are, but I think I'm going to
I
move on.
thought it was
before
chocolate.
gets any worse.
Sorry.
So far, I'm very impressed with this MacBook Neo, and in fact, I talked to somebody today at work that I was helping, and she was like, we started talking. I said, I am the Apple and all this, and then I just bought my first Mac. It was the MacBook Neo, and I'm absolutely loving it. It's fast and it's been working great, and I just love to hear that. I said to her, I hope she listens to the show. Hopefully you listen today, and hi Jess, and we'll I'd be curious to see what her impressions are. And she's not anything like us with being nerdy guys here, guys and gals. So it's kind of cool. But I've been pretty impressed with this Mac. I mean, I've got 2 articles already here this week that came out specifically, and I think this is new for Marty and Eric that I just found today. And one of them was despite hardware limits, Parallels is working fine with the MacBook Neo. Think about how much processing speed you really need to run Windows on a Mac, especially with the way it works here. So it says it is impressive at the $600 price, but the A18 Pro processor is probably one of the biggest compromises compared to modern MacBook Airs. That this was an Ars Technica in the review, but those who have limited resources, it's still good enough to run Windows on your Mac using the Parallels virtual software. So says Parallels themselves, but with some testing and benchmarking, it had declared the Neo suitable for lightweight computing and everyday productivity. So it's not going to run videos and things like that you could expect with that. But I think just that alone is pretty cool. The fact that it could even run it. So it impresses me every time that you're seeing this. We've already talked about Marty rendering the video and Final Cut working well on it, and the Creator Studio and all the other apps from Apple are running great. Office has been fine. I've been running Outlook, and how much of a pig Outlook can be sometimes, and it's working really well. So, Marty, Derek, you have any comments on this?
I've seen some comments on Reddit where people are talking about things that they're having trouble running it with, and they're always referencing Microsoft products. I hate to say that. Although there are articles that say I had 40 windows in Chrome open and there was no problem whatsoever. I think there was a reference to Teams and people were having trouble on Teams. I'll have to field test that, but who doesn't have trouble on Teams?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Teams is just trouble.
Don't get Chuck started.
It doesn't matter what platform you're on.
Yeah.
No,
exactly. I hear it about Windows every day too. It's not just Mac. So then other article here was it was said that they did run the MacBook Neo with Premiere Pro and almost 60 Chrome tabs opened at the same time. Chrome, we know how that browser works really well, and it was impressive the fact that it did keep up with the 4K video editing and the heavy-duty multitasking without slowing down. So just 2 more things that impresses me of what this MacBook can do. It's not for everybody, but I think even not only elementary and high school, I think this is going to be a great college. And all these students coming to college for the first time now this fall. I would love to see how well it does when these kids are coming back, going to college after their summer break. How incredibly well they'll sell. I'm pretty confident to feel that that's going to happen.
Yeah. I had a student come up yesterday after class, and she goes, and I had my Indigo one, and she goes, "Is that the MacBook Neo?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And I took it out like I was going to show it to her.
Yeah.
And she said, "Oh, no, I got one. It's really incredible."
Nice.
I think she got silver, like Dave. But she, so this was weird. People are starting to spot them in the wild and realize what they are.
Yeah. Well, if you got the color, but go ahead, Eric.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say the other surprising thing I'm getting is, yes, a bunch of new users or users that haven't had a Mac in years and years, but I'm also seeing people that have Macs, even more powerful ones, especially work-related ones that need to do something that's not work-related. And the new rules are saying, nope, you got to keep the things separate. And no one could really easily afford to do that before. So complying with corporate rules or school rules is much, much, much easier now. So you could actually have a second Mac that's just your personal stuff and not mix.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd be curious to know how it would work as a podcast machine. I mean, not for something like, your setup, Dave, because I think that would probably freak it out. But just being on,
I've tried.
You have?
Mhm.
And it worked?
Yeah, works fine.
Okay, so you used Ecamm with it, and it was good?
It was.
Wow.
I was
I
playing around.
guess we know what Guy's next computer's going to be.
Yeah.
Probably.
He's keeping quiet. All right, let's go ahead and move on. And we'll here and there talk about the MacBook Neos in a segment. It might not be every week, but like Marty says, they're probably going to be a limited series of that podcast. But we'll have some fun. So let's go on and talk about a new product release that happened this past week. The AirPods Max 2. This was surprising. I mean, we had been waiting for almost 5 years for a new pair of these to come out. And the amazing thing is the fact that it has the H2 chip in there, and it's got more effective ANC, and it's got the adaptive audio and live translation, just like the AirPods Pro do. And it's definitely got some good sound quality, auto conversation awareness, the voice isolation. So a lot of the things that we've been already experiencing with AirPods Pro 3 are going to be now over on here. And that active noise cancellation was improved with it as well. Looks pretty much the same. And, of course, I'm looking at the Apple's press release, so they're going to go hype it up pretty good here. Even voice isolation and even with the camera remote, you can capture content at a distance by pressing the digital crown on your AirPods Max to control your camera too, which is kind of cool. So overall, I think it's pretty cool, but you got to expect it's going to go an increase in price. So it went up $100. So it's now $549 for this pair. Of course, USB-C. There's so many people out there, like our friend Jim Ray. He's got the original AirPods Max and keeps putting them in the freezer every week when we stop working. We always laugh about that. But I think comparatively speaking, yeah, there's some pretty good upgrades to this headphone. And even our friend Webb, he says he's on the fence. He might get them. I just have a feeling he will. I'm not AirPods. I haven't had an AirPods Max. My wife has the AirPods Max, the Lightning version, and she's been very happy with them. And I don't think she'll care what these do. But what's people's thoughts on this? Jeff, I'll start with you.
Surprisingly, I have thoughts on this.
Yeah.
This is the first time I've actually been really interested in going and listening to AirPods Max.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a confession that will probably shock all of you. I have never tried AirPods Max at all.
Neither have I.
But AirPods Max 2, I don't know, maybe because they just came out and it's like, oh, there's a new thing. But really, I think it's more about the H2 chip and the new amp that they put in this. The audio quality in AirPods Max 2 should be better than the audio quality in the AirPods Max original, regardless of whether it was USB-C or Lightning for the connector. But all of them are 24-bit, 48 kilohertz. So that part doesn't change, but the overall audio quality ought to be better. Okay, now this is starting to sound really interesting. I want to get a hold of a pair, plug it into one of my DACs, probably multiple of my DACs, and see what sort of audio quality I'm getting off of this, listening to my highest quality digital audio files connected directly to one of my DACs. I guess that's a long-winded way of saying if someone wants to send me a pair of AirPods Max 2, I will graciously accept them.
I figured you would. Chuck, did you have any thoughts about the AirPods Max 2?
Just that I'm happy to see Apple continue to upgrade this. I know for a little while it seemed like this was going a long time between updates, and it feels like Apple's really kind of firing on all cylinders here, trying to appeal to various aspects of different markets, like the AirPods Pro, or scratch that, like the AirPods. Whether you like in-ears, noise cancellation, better noise cancellation, cans, lower price, they've got something for you, no matter what you're interested in. Just like with the Neo, now we're seeing Macs at various price points and iPads at various price points. I feel like there's a theme building here, and I'm really, really happy that the AirPods, but whichever one you we're talking about, are fitting into that mode and that model.
Yeah. Any else? Any comments, Marty or Eric?
Well, do we think that beyond, because Apple has not always, but has pretty much exclusively been a company that sells premium products at a premium price. And the fact that they now have the 17E, which is $599, and that they have the MacBook Neo, which is $599 or $499 if you've got, an education discount. This is kind of, at least for me, this is kind of uncharted territory to talk about, because Apple was never the cheapest solution. And you look at something like the Neo, it has an aluminum body. It only has 8 gigs of RAM. But overall, when you look at computers that are also being sold in the, let's be kind and say $500 to $700 range, on the other side of the equation, for the most part, they're not great computers. Whereas the MacBook Neo and the 17E are solid products, handled by a company that makes solid products. So, what's the next thing that they could come out with that would be more budget friendly?
How about Apple TV in a stick?
And that would be interesting. Well, it would basically just be the application then.
Yeah, probably.
Have a lot of processing on that. Wouldn't have any processing on that.
It would have some. You can put processing in an Apple Watch, so you could put one in a little stick that plugs into your television. But wouldn't that be nice to have Apple TV on the go? Like you're traveling, you're in a hotel, you take your Apple TV, boop, plug it in.
Yeah, I used to bring my Fire Stick traveling.
Yeah, it's a thing.
Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and move on. I wanted to talk a little bit about the AirTag. The AirTag 2 just came out not too long ago, and there hasn't been really much discussion about the fact that they both look pretty much the same. Interestingly enough, I did see something it was on YouTube or something. I was watching a video showing how do you distinguish between the differences between the AirTag 2 and the AirTag. Well, you flip it over on the other side. It has all the writing around where the Apple logo is, and the AirTag 2, it's all in capital letters. In the original AirTag, it's in lowercase letters. That's the only way you can identify what the difference is. You look at them, and put them next to each other. It's like there's no way, unless you knew that, how you would know if it's the two or the one, as we'd call it. So a couple of the improvements that includes precision finding upgrades with the new ultra band chip. So that's going to be much easier to find, because sometimes you go to try to find something, it can't reach it, so they've really improved that part. The Bluetooth, there was the big thing. The updated Bluetooth range is going to give it much better range when you are trying to find it. But the big thing was the louder speaker, and yes, it is loud. I don't know if anybody's tried it on the AirTag 2, but it is really loud. Jill, you're shaking your head. Have you already experienced it? Was it really loud for you?
It was loud enough that I'm someone, where's my wallet? Where's my keys? And now I can find them. Yes.
Yeah. So that was a big up improvement. They do have some new privacy protections, and it was some bad actors using unwanted tracking. Although Apple's sought to mitigate the problem via software updates over the years, it has some new protection with AirTag 2. As far as designed with tracking objects, it's not for people or pets. Then the new AirTag incorporates a suite of industry first protections against unwanted tracking, including cross-platform alerts and unique Bluetooth identifiers that change frequently. So I still see people using it on their pets. Family members are putting it on their dogs, and I think they still use it. I don't know why that's such a big deal. It's helpful when you can't find your dog. I just don't know why that's such a big deal.
It's a swallowing issue.
Right. Okay. That makes sense. But
you missed the big difference, Dave, is the batteries with the bitter coating fit inside the new ones, and you don't have to sit there and scrub them off with alcohol.
Oh.
Yeah.
And the precision finding from the watch is nice.
Yeah, exactly. So then, like I said, what hasn't changed is battery life, because it'll last about a year. It's such a pain in the butt to get those things open. Jeff, you opened mine. I wanted to change the battery.
Yeah,
I cannot get that thing open.
So, Dave, here's what I think we should do, just based on the timing of when I did your battery. Bring your AirTags to Max stock.
Yeah,
just set them in front of me, and I'm going to change out all your batteries every year at Max stock for you.
Probably that's a good idea. Don't
I'm not kidding. Do it.
I know I will. Isn't that crazy? The people do that. You just got to. My fingers have been so bad.
Wax on, wax off.
Put it between your palms.
Okay.
And you twist with your palms, and that's how you get them on and off.
Yeah. So but
or you just bring them to Max stock and make me do it for you.
Yeah.
Right.
Jeff's
going to have a
booth
set up for people that can't get their batteries.
Maybe we'll set up a booth. By the time you do about a couple hundred, your hands will be like sore as heck.
Yeah, but everyone's going to be tipping me. So by the time I'm done, I'll have enough money to buy a Neo or some new Apple product.
Yeah, I can see Jeff sitting in the back with a little stand with a little banner above his head, and maybe also selling lemonade on the side.
Has anybody have others here? Sorry, has anybody here bought the AirTag 2 yet?
Yeah, I have like 4 of them sitting in a box waiting for me to do something with it.
Me too. I bought.
And I think, given what I've heard about them, and I might have tested one out on something, but I'm going to put them immediately on my car keys, which is the biggest concern when I can't find it, and attach it to my wallet. So those are the 2 things that I've got to find, and I've got to find fast. And I rarely misplace them, but when I do, I go nuts.
I bought one of those. It works with Apple's Find My. It's a little card that you can stick into your wallet, and it was advertised to work for like 6 to 9 months.
Yeah, I have it.
It stopped working after a week, and I don't even bother with it anymore.
Mine just ran out of my wallet. I have that credit card. I don't have it close to me. I would grab it, but surprisingly, but all I had to do is put it on a MagSafe charger, and it charged right back up, and it's working fine. It must have gone for about 6 or 9 months, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
it lasted a pretty long time.
My problem with it, and I said this, I think on another show or in After Dark, is I put it in my wallet and then sat with it in my wallet, and I lost the linkage to it. Now, I didn't know that, but I heard this beeping sound, and I could never locate it. And it seemed
There's
to
some
follow me.
irony there.
Yeah, I know.
Somebody finally came up and said, "Excuse me, sir, your ass is on fire."
Yeah, and it was driving Aileen nuts too. She's like, "Where is that beeping coming from?" And I'm like, "I don't know. But it's on and off depending on." And it was sincerely because I was sitting on my wallet, and it was blocking any RF or whatever to my phone, and the signal went off that it had lost signal. So.
But I have 8 of them, and
Of the new
one
one?
in each car, one in each car keys, one in my wallet, one in my bike, one in my camera bag, one in my backpack.
All right. Well, you could be like Craig.
That
He's
makes
got
sense.
Craig has 4 AirTag
Wow.
2, but he has 30 ones. So
Yeah. I'm about ready to toss the old ones and just start fresh with the 2s.
Yeah, I've
I
got
gave
like
away my
8
ones.
ones. I still have them.
Yeah, I gave mine
and
away.
then
Or I'll feed them to the dog.
oh, don't do that.
Hey, I'm going to throw in a plug for Guy. I don't know which one you have, but I have the one from Rolling Square, and it has performed
I
like
gotta
a
look.
champ. The battery life has been holding up. I'm glad you said something because I think I meant to put a note on my calendar, which is the way I remember to change some of these things. I don't wait for Macstock for Jeff to come and change
Well,
my batteries.
are they rechargeable? The one that you have?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of it. The
It's fun.
first model
Yeah.
wasn't. The new one is, and it is loud enough because you think about a wallet that you're putting stuff around that speaker that you're trying to hear. This is plenty loud for you to be able to hear it. It's not like you have to tell everybody in the room to be quiet. You can find it pretty easily. So
Yeah.
Do you think you'd be able to hear it if Marty was sitting on it?
That was my
Well, not
question.
from his house.
No,
Well,
I'm
my
not gonna
ass
dig.
is pretty big, Chuck.
Wow, thank you for sharing that, Marty. That was a picture I didn't need.
Well, can you? I just sent you something over in messages, so if you could reply to that and send me a link to that product, I'd appreciate it.
Or you put it here. We'll put it in the show notes too.
Okay.
Yeah, here
Or
I'll
put it in the show notes if you could. Chuck.
Okay, we'll do. With me,
Yeah, thanks.
the link. Yeah.
All right. So let's go ahead and move on here, and I'm gonna talk about a cool thing. I do cool things on the Mac Show and the British Tech Network, but I couldn't help doing it here this week. So let me show this to you. It's actually a new product from Spigen, and I just found it the other day. This is it here on the camera. It's the AirPods.
Oh my
Pro.
God, you got that thing.
It
Okay,
came
I'll stop talking. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, it just came literally just before the show. I saw the delivery just happen to Amazon. So I better go run down there and get it so I can talk about it. So this is the AirPods Pro 3 case, and what it does is it looks like a Mac. The original Mac, and it has the case. It looks, and I'm not going to put it together, but here's the way it looks, and you can just put it together like a Mac, and it's a mouse. Actually, it looks like the mouse. Yeah, the old Mac mouse, the single button mouse. But it does flip up, and it holds the AirPods. And I thought this was like the coolest thing in the world. And I've actually got a link. I got a link here in the show notes. I will bring it up here really quick here, so people can see it. This is on Amazon. I guess that link didn't work. Let me try again here. So I also check that link, make sure it's right. Let me go back and bring it up on the article I had for it as well. You know what? I clicked the Rolling Square wallet. That was why. Let's see if I got the right one now. Yes, I do. Here we go. So let's go to this, and here it is. So this is we have it on the screen here if you're watching live or on video. So it looks like an old original Apple mouse, and it just clips up, and it's showing the picture here, and it look, it's the retro design of the mouse. It's the coolest thing, and this is made by Spigen of all companies. They're a pretty big case company, and all you have to do is use the button to secure it from on the so it's got a secure lock on the, because every time that the AirPods can flip over on its normal case, or when you have another case, it doesn't work. It doesn't lock it, so it could fall out, and but it's kind of fun. I think, and this is only like $24.99. I think it is. Yeah, $29.99. That's not that bad. I mean, I'm still supporting this case that Chuck recommended. I think he still uses it, the rubberized case, and it's not bad. But I thought this was a fun thing, and it's very cool. So, anybody have any thoughts?
It is cool.
Did we lose somebody?
Yeah, we lost Jeff.
Oh, okay.
He went to order one. He was so excited.
He's so excited. Okay, he should be back here. So let's. So if anybody doesn't have anything else on that, let's go ahead and move on here. Let's go to some of the news stories this week. We've got plenty of time here. So, Perplexity, they launched a Comet AI browser for iPhone with a built-in assistant here. So this is kind of cool. They released they expanded the Comet browser to iOS, making the AI Comet Assistant available to iPhone users. The Comet browser for iOS has many of the same features as the Comet browser on the desktop, including a voice mode for speaking questions and hybrid search experience, but it does lack some extensions. Comet is offering standard search results that you might expect from any web search, but this adds Comet Assistant to able to provide more in-depth answers and completed tasks. So that's cool that they've expanded this on to the iOS. I'll definitely download it and try it. Anybody have any comments about that?
Well, wasn't there an AI browser called Atlas?
Yep.
There's one that's out there too. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's ChatGPT's version.
Okay.
Yeah. So another. They're all doing it now. I don't know if Claude has one yet, but Perplexity and ChatGPT, Gemini doesn't have anything. Does anybody else? Is there any other browser? I know there's Dia, and there's a couple others that are.
Claude has an app.
They have an app, right?
Does co-work and coding and then the regular chat, but it has the ability to read websites, which most like ChatGPT and stuff can't. So it has the functionality there.
Yeah. So welcome back, Jeff. We lost you, but I'm glad you're back.
My Mac took a dirt nap.
Yeah, there was all those emails you were deleting.
Jeff, it probably wouldn't surprise me.
Jeff, better your Mac than you.
This is true.
Okay, that's fair.
All right, let's move on here. Next story, Apple's head of home hardware leaves for smart ring maker Aura. Brian Lynch, the senior director of Apple's home hardware engineering team, is leaving Apple for a smart ring company Aura. And this was reported from Bloomberg. Lynch accepted the role as senior vice president of hardware engineering. It seems Aura has poached several employees from Apple over the last few years. Lynch's departure is apparently causing fresh upheaval on Apple's home products team as it aims to debut home devices. Apple's been rumoring to working on a smart home hub, but the launch was pushed back, of course, as we know, because of Siri's. Okay, I'll trigger your S lady. Deployment delays. The hub is now planned for September 2026 with other devices for like home security and automatic sensors. So, anybody surprised about this?
Not really.
If they won't make the things, then what's the person who's in charge of it supposed to do?
Yeah.
I don't know. I was surprised at this because he's been around for a long time. When the videos, back when the live presentations were being done, he was a frequent guest. He was a frequent guest on the videos, and Joe brings up a great point. But it also feels a little strange that, he's going to Aura where they do a ring. And with no disrespect intended to Aura, but they do pretty much one product. and at least Apple would have a lot more variety. So there may be, who knows? There can be a million reasons somebody would shift like this.
Well, Chuck, they do one product today.
Fair point, Jeff.
But Apple also has a reputation for not paying as well as some of their competitors. So if you've been at Apple a while and some other company comes along and says, "Come work for us, we'll give you this much money," and you go back to your bosses and say, "How about if you pay me this much money?" Apparently, Apple is very likely to say no. So then you leave and go get that money from the company that offered it to you.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I kind of want to speak on behalf of my experience with the Aura Ring. Works well. It's a good product. What I'm seeing is they're adding components onto it. So if I want to get different access out of just this product, so it seems like from my use in the last couple of months, they have really tried to expand what this one product could do. And I could imagine if I was at Apple and I had a whole bunch of products in line that didn't get released and have been held up, and a company comes to me, like Jeff has suggested, and say, "Here's your salary. Go ahead and start to come up with products or accessories that we can add to this current product. And, the sky's the limit for you." I could see them in wanting to make the jump.
Yeah, no, makes sense. Makes total sense. Anybody else on this?
I just wish Apple would come out with the things that they're going to come out with. It's kind of killing me a little bit. I'm interested in the home stuff. I'm interested in the S-Lady stuff. And I'm like,
none of this that they supposedly are supposed to release, none of this information comes from Apple. This is from the speculators and the analysts and all the people that keep talking about, well, Apple is going to do this and Apple's going to do that. And there's no accountability for these people when those things don't happen. I mean, we all remember the Apple car debacle and how many the Apple TV debacle. And there's always these rumors of new Apple products coming out, and it sounds great, it makes sense, and then you don't see them, and who gets the blame? Apple gets the blame because they didn't release a product that they never said anything about.
But I would say that if those products aren't real, then they're doing nothing in that era.
No, not necessarily. That doesn't necessarily follow either. Because
I just mean there is nothing.
Well, there's nothing that's been released, but Apple's R&D is huge.
Oh,
and
right,
Apple,
for sure. But
Apple doesn't want to be just another player in a given market.
Right.
They want to have something that they have a decent chance of having a healthy percentage or dominating. So it kind of doesn't make sense for them to get into the alarm clock market because, you've already got an iPhone. And besides, what can you do with an alarm clock? So, that's where some of the rumors, if you pass it through that filter, it just doesn't hold water.
It falls apart. Yeah.
Yeah.
Apple doesn't play the let's throw crap on the wall to see what sticks game.
Oh, for sure.
They leave that for Samsung and, so many of the, and that's not to say that, a lot of the stuff that Samsung has come out with and, they just didn't seem to be a market for it. That's not to say that it wasn't worthwhile. And they're still working on it. Like Samsung DeX, for example, is an amazing product, but it will probably never really become all that mainstream, which is a shame.
Yep. All right. Moving on here, let's talk about, Apple has now made the first iPhone that had its Lightning connector. It's now obsolete. The iPhone 5 that launched back in 2012 is now considered obsolete. According to Apple's list of vintage and obsolete products, the Apple moved the iPhone 5 and the 8GB iPhone 4 from its vintage list to the obsolete list today, and they do that quite a bit. And again, what vintage means it's over 5 years since it's been distributed for sale. The obsolete is the 7-year mark. Sometimes Apple stretches it it stretches its timelines, but so the 5 was out in 2012, and then it discontinued it in 2013 when it launched the 5S, and then that lovely 5C with all those colors. Remember that iPhone? And the iPhone 5 was added to the list in 2018. So the points to repairs become limited and based on parts availability. I would hope not too many people are sporting that phone anymore, but there probably are, and that's okay if that works for you. But it's going to get to a point where even the cellular service might stop working, data and getting on the internet, and apps become obsolete because it's going to be the older iOS. So that's how time has progressed here. That's how it goes, right? And then lastly here, we wanted to talk a little bit about this new Apple did buy this Final Cut Pro plugin partner, Motion VFX. It was announced that over 15 years that they created a world-class and visually inspiring content for effects and video editing, and then they've been working with Apple for all this time. So Apple finally decided to go through and buy this company. Jeff, did you have any insights on this? I think this is probably a good thing for Apple. Then they can continue on with this.
Sure. Excuse me. Yeah, I think it's a good thing for Apple. I think it's a smart move for the Final Cut product. Final Cut Pro is a really nice nonlinear video editor, but its reputation was tarnished when Apple made, I'll call it a bold move, to throw out their code base and start over, which they kind of needed to do. They were really coded into a corner and had to do something. And while a lot of people have moved back to Final Cut Pro, it still doesn't have the same level of love from users that it had once before. So doing something like this that enhances the usefulness of Final Cut Pro without you having to go buy extra plugins to make it happen seems like a good. Here's my expectation, Guy. Once they finish getting everything rolled in, we're going to get a Final Cut update at some point that this is just included. It might be part of the Creative Studio package, but it'll be something that you get without having to invest more money to get the plugins.
That would be nice.
That's my hypothesis.
I almost subscribe to it. And it's about $30 a month, and so it would fit nicely inside of the creative.
What, the Motion FX? That's what you're $30 a month for some of that stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I wasn't aware it was. Well, most plugins are expensive. I wasn't aware they even had a subscription model.
They had some free plugins, but they also had some. You also had some that you had to pay the subscription for. So
okay, apparently some of my prescriptions are wearing out.
Chuck, do you have any thoughts on this?
I love this. I mean, Motion VFX has done some really great plugins. I have several of them, and I think anything that ups Final Cut's game is a good thing. And they've been kind of easing out, very gently, a few enhancements here, a few enhancements there. And I do have to comment though on Jeff's discussion or comments on the old version. You're right. I think it was a botched launch. That was the problem because they wanted everybody to go cold turkey, and that was a real problem. But having started to learn the old Final Cut, which the learning curve was insane, versus the new Final Cut, for someone that was just getting started, had maybe 6 months of experience, it was like night and day. I mean, it was so much better, and it was one of those things that, and I've attended a number of discussions on this, that once people learned how to use it, it was so much more powerful and so much better the professionals just didn't want to take the time to learn to use it because they already knew how to do the old one, and it was doing everything they needed, and they could get paid for it. And so, it's one of those things. It would have been better if Apple hadn't done the cold turkey kind of thing, but that was a slip up.
Yep. All right, Marty, Eric, you have any thoughts before we move off this?
I am new to Final Cut. And so I appreciate all the pain you lived for me. And I'm looking forward to this. I mean, with Adobe and Audition, I bought plugins for audio stuff that I did with that platform, but I'm trying to move over, particularly with the Creator Suite that Apple's got, trying to move over to Final Cut.
Yeah. All right. So before we wrap up, I want to talk a little bit about MacStock. And MacStock, the conference and expo, it's MacStock 10. It's July 10th, 11th, and 12th. It's coming up in 111 days as was recording this today. So the countdown is on. It's the 10th anniversary of MacStock, and we announced last week that myself, Chuck, Jeff, Marty, and Jill are all speaking this year, and we'll have a number of others that'll be announced shortly. But you're going to have 3 full days of these expert-led presentations and workshops. Marty's going to have a great workshop on Saturday night that we're going to be talking about all kinds of fun things and some productivity enhancing content, and then with the partnership with Ecamm, which Ecamm Live is what we're using here for this podcast, is a great tool. They're going to be doing a creator camp. They usually have their creative camps a couple times a year. Well, they partnered with MacStock, so have it on the day before July 9th. It's going to be an additional part of MacStock. You can attend the creator camp on the Thursday the 9th, and then the rest of the 3 days, three full days of MacStock is going to be there. The theme for this year is Inspire. And if you want to be able to network with a lot of great, fun people, there's going to be other big announcements. We're going to have some big other people coming to attend this year, but this is going to be a big, big event, and we can't wait to have you come out here. I believe we still have, that's still valid until the end of the month for the early bird pricing, and the link's in the show notes how to get to that. It's macstockconference.com. The link will be right on that website, or go to our show notes and check it out. I'm excited to be able to see all our friends, see some great new people. Hopefully we're coming to MacStock. It's going to be a heck of a fun time, and I can't wait. Every year. This will be my 10th year speaking, so I've spoken at all 9 MacStocks, and I'm going to be going on number 10 this year, so proud of that, and it's been just an absolutely fun time. Everybody here on this panel is going to be at MacStock, which I'm excited to see everybody here. Guy Serle's going to make it, which I'm so excited. We haven't seen you in quite a while, and we'll have a number of other of our friends being there as well. Anybody want to add anything? But just go to MacStock Expo, MacStockConference.com. Join us. We'd love to see you.
If you're going to go to MacStock, make up your mind very soon, because there's only a limited number of rooms at the Holiday Inn Crystal Lake.
Yes, it's at Holiday Inn Crystal Lake.
The absolute best way to attend an event like this.
Those rooms do go fast.
They do, and they're really reasonably priced.
I decided the last couple of years to attend in person. I stay at the hotel because I do live local and have a home not too far away from the MacStock location. But why would I want to do that? I can always just go right down the elevator, come see everybody, and not have to leave. So that makes it well worth it. And there's links there too for some great rates at the hotel. So take advantage of it. I know a lot of people are signing up. So MacStockConference.com, check it out. Can't wait to have you.
And Dave, if you're staying at the hotel, you know that you have a safe place to go at the end of the evening.
That's true. Although I don't drink.
My room is always a safe place. That's what you meant, right?
Yeah.
No. No.
Awkward.
Awkward.
With you guys in the hotel, it's not safe at all.
Yeah.
Chuck, were you there with us when the security guard came up last year and told us to calm down?
No, I was not.
I don't think I was there.
I usually close down Portillo's.
The beef place that's in Crystal Lake. So, all right. Well, that's going to be a wrap. But before we go, I want to make sure we find out where everybody can be found. Let's start with Eric Bolden. Thanks for being here, Eric. Where can people find you?
I can be found in the woods looking for birds. Otherwise on Mastodon at EA Bolden at MES.to. Monday nights on Vision Profiles. Tuesdays on Mac Voices Live. Thursdays on In Touch with iOS. Kind of progressing through all of the OSs throughout the week and roundup of the news. Yeah, it's a good week.
Excellent. Thanks for being here, Eric. Appreciate it. Guy Serle, thanks for being here. And
thank you.
Like I said, can't look forward to seeing you at MacStock. Where can people find
really
you?
Looking forward to it. Well, you can find me nearly every single week on the G-Men show over there with Gazmaz. Our email address is gmenshow@icloud.com. We have a Google Voice telephone number that if you live outside the United States, we don't recommend you use, but it is 703-828-4677. What else? You can find me sometimes on Tuesday when things don't become weird over there on Chuck's Mac Voices. Thursday night, of course, right here. And every Wednesday with the G-Men show being released almost live. Almost.
All right. Thanks so much. Marty Jencius, thank you for being here. And you're the podcast machine. We've got another one coming up here. Where can people find you? You're muted.
Still muted.
I've got a barky dog, and so I've been trying to, not calm her down, but keep the microphone off. This Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, you can catch Dave, Eric, and also Brett Candidate confirmed that he'll be joining us on the Neo Notebook. I'm still trying to get used to the title. You can find that at youtube.com/@the Neo Notebook. Monday nights on Vision Profiles, Tuesdays with Chuck on Mac Voices, Thursdays with Dave on In Touch with iOS, and Friday mornings when I can ditch out of a Dean meeting, you'll catch me on the Mac Show on the British Tech Network. All the other stuff you can find at thepodtalk.net, and check out the other shows that we produce with that group. Thanks for having me, Dave.
Of course. Yep. Put the podtalk.net is in our show notes. If you want to put the link in for the new show, please do that as well in our show notes. Marty, appreciate it. Thanks. And Chuck Joyner, it's always a pleasure having you here. I'm glad to have you as always. Where can people find you?
MacVoices.com is where you will find everything. We are trying to keep up with the amount of content that we do. Yeah. Just recorded an interesting discussion this afternoon that I'm not going to spoil, but it'll be coming out sometime next week. I'll just leave it there. I'll tease it that way. But it's something a little bit different and a little bit unusual that doesn't happen very often. The live show, as has been mentioned, is Tuesday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern at youtube.com/MacVoicesTV. And you'll find me on the socials as at Chuck Joyner. Thank you, Dave.
Thank you, Chuck, as always. And Jeff Gamet, always a pleasure having you here. Where can people find you?
Well, Dave, when I'm not busy changing out the batteries in your AirTags, you can find me on the various social medias as J Gamet, mostly right now on Mastodon and PixelFed and BlueSky. And then for shows, Tuesdays for Chuck's Mac Voices Live, here with you on Thursdays for In Touch with iOS, then on the British Tech Network for the Big Show and the Mac Show. Also, Brian Chaffin and I do The Context Machine, and Patrice Brendamore and I do Retro Rewatch.
Great. Thank you, Jeff. And last but certainly not least, Jill McKinley. Jill from the Northwoods. Where can people find you?
Well, you can find me at jillfromthenorthwoods.com. That has all my podcasts and how you can email me and contact me every way there is. And soon I am going to be starting a brand new podcast/YouTube channel on Small Steps with AI, which is just about regular people using AI for daily life.
Nice. Can't wait to hear about it. Thanks. I appreciate it. And with that, that's a wrap for That's a wrap for this week. Please send your comments, questions, suggestions at our email address, which is feedback@intouchwithios.com. You can follow us on BlueSky and Mastodon at In Touch with iOS. Support the show. Buy me a coffee at intouchwithios.com/coffee. We'd really appreciate it. You can become a patron of the show by going to patreon.com/intouchwithios. We have 2 tiers available to support the show. We'd really appreciate it. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe so you are notified when we are live streaming on Thursday nights. It's 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Thank you, Brian and Witherbucket. I think we saw Craig and a number of others. Thanks for being here in our chat. You can be here live with us, hanging out and talking with us out on the show. That's, again, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. The YouTube channel is youtube.com/intouchwithios. You can watch the current and past live streams as well as listen to past shows. You can subscribe to the show in your favorite podcatcher, including Pocket Cast, Overcast, Apple Podcasts, and many others. But better yet, go to intouchwithios.com where all the links, all the ways to listen to us are. They're out on that site. And I am Dave Ginsburg. You can find me at Vision Profiles on Monday night with Marty and Eric. We always have a blast talking about Vision Pro. Mac Voices Live on Tuesday nights with Chuck and the rest of our gang here. And Thursdays we record In Touch with iOS. And Fridays I'm on the Mac Show on the British Tech Network. So you can find me there as well. And with that, thank you all for listening, for watching, supporting the show. We really appreciate it. And we'll talk again soon.